Hey guys, welcome to No Filters, Just Freedom, the show for people who are ready to stop shrinking, start rising, and live with unapologetic audacity. My name is Jasmine, I'm a life coach, and I'm here to guide us all through this journey of bold, authentic living. Okay, guys, this isn't just another self-help pep talk. This is the rebellion. A wake-up call for every person who has ever been told to sit down, shrink yourself, and wait your turn. That voice that whispers to us, "Who do you think you are?" Well, we're evicting it. Those dreams that have been collecting dust, we're bringing them back to life. By the end of these 15 minutes, you'll have everything you need to start your own revolution. But first, we're going to start with the lies they sold us. We have to expose the toxic myths that have been keeping us small. First lie is that we should be grateful for the crumbs they give us. Things like the promotion they said you didn't deserve, or the relationship that you're constantly trying to prove your worth. It's a load of crap, people, a literal load of crap. You deserve to have everything you want, everything you're dreaming, and to fight to be the best version of yourself. And 9 times out of 10, people who are trying to tell you you don't are simply insecure, small-minded, and feel like the only way they can be bigger is to make you smaller than them. It's just ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. And it's a huge struggle for women. When we walk into a room and people try to tell us that we don't deserve to be there, that we should just be grateful for even being invited, absolutely not. We deserve to be sitting at the table just like everybody else. And there is nothing wrong with you for wanting a seat at that table. Think about this level of toxicity like cigarette smoke. The person that is telling you that you need to be less is the person smoking the cigarette. Okay, they've got that toxicity showing up immediately. Okay, but for the rest of us that are starting to believe this lie, we're the people in the room getting the secondhand smoke, and we all know that secondhand smoke can be just as dangerous as inhaling the cigarette itself. So get out of the room, get fresh air. Get people around you that want you to be the best version of yourself. I love my friends that are constantly telling me that I can be more and not to settle. And I fight really, really hard to be that person for them. I don't want my friends to be less than. I don't want my friends to be basic. It's the idea that you are the company that you keep. But sometimes it can be a little deeper than that. I want to know that all of us are fighting for greatness. It doesn't make sense to be around people that tell you to be satisfied with what you have. And it's important for all relationships, whether or not it's your job, your friends, or even your partner. I picked a partner that wants me to be the best version of myself. Now, in a marriage, sometimes that doesn't look very pretty and it can be complicated, and that's a whole other episode. But the point is that at the end of the day, our number one goal is to make each other be the best version of ourselves. You deserve to have people in your life like that. You deserve to feel whole. You deserve to feel fed. So repeat after me. My hunger is holy. The second lie that we can believe is that good people don't make waves. Since when did nice mean silent? Since when did polite mean powerless? It's a load of garbage, people. It's growing up in the South, it's the same thing that they try to tell you about women should be seen and not heard, and you smile and you're demure. They just don't want you to contradict them. They just don't want you to make them feel like they could be wrong or they're not enough. But the truth is, you can be kind and still powerful. It was something that I struggled with because I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I had to learn how to be kind. I would walk into a room and let you know that I was in charge. No one needs to be that aggressive. That is a personal problem that I am trying to overcome. Shout out to my husband for helping me work through that. But learning how to be kind and learning how to see other people's emotions and see other people's feelings, did not mean that I needed to lower my impact. It did not mean that I had to be powerless. It simply meant that I didn't need to steamroll over people. I don't need to step on somebody's neck to also be powerful. That's just not how that works. And I don't have to be silent. I can still be kind, and I can say things in an appropriate manner that does not make you feel like you are the scum of the earth. No one needs to live on those two opposite ends of the spectrum, where you're silent and you feel defeated and broken down and like you don't have a voice, or overly aggressive and rude and disrespectful and it's me or nobody else. There is a lot of gray area in the middle, and that gray area is where you want to live. You want to live in a space where you can love and bring joy and be kind and have a good heart, and everyone knows you for being uplifting and good, while also standing on your principles and telling yourself that I can speak my mind whenever I see fit, and I'm still going to fight for what I want to fight for. You make waves because they're necessary, because that's who you are, because when things are stagnant, there is no growth. And a third lie that is honestly what I think is one of the most dangerous lies is that you have to wait until you're ready. Newsflash, no one who ever changed the world was quote unquote ready. Ready is a myth designed to keep you waiting. If we were ready to do anything, then we wouldn't actually be growing and changing. Nobody is ready for these big life changes or to grow in a different area. You're kind of just rolling with the punches. You're kind of just figuring out as you go. People learn this lesson very quickly when you have kids. If you tell yourself I'm not going to have kids till I'm ready, you'll never have children. Now that does not mean you're wrong in that choice. That just simply means you're never going to be ready. And there are plenty of people that walk into a room and say, I'm ready to have a child. And then that child comes and they come to the boat that the rest of us with children are in, and we realize there is not a handbook for this. No one told me it was going to be this ridiculous. Nobody told me that my child did not read the baby book and decided that they were going to do everything different in their own way. I love my daughter. She keeps me on my toes. I can't stay stagnant for anything. I'm never ready for what she brings to the table. Was I ready for her to walk? Absolutely not. But you just go with it. You don't want them to not walk. Was I ready for her to start talking? Not really, because now she doesn't stop saying mommy. But you love to see their growth anyway. Nobody is ready to do all the other stuff. Nobody is ready to be married because nobody is ready to not be selfish. Nobody is ready for that job promotion. You have no idea what you're walking into till you're there. That does not mean you can't handle it. And that's the lie that people try to tell you. If you're not ready, you can't handle it. That's not true. You can handle things really well by learning how to adjust and exist with change. I can handle a lot. I can handle the changes that my daughter brings. That doesn't mean I was ready for them. I can just handle it. I can handle changes in the job atmosphere, or maybe losing friendships or everything else, things that we weren't prepared for. Loss is a great example of things that you are not ready for, but you have to handle it. We've all experienced heavy loss. I cannot even explain to you the loss that I have experienced in my life. I was not ready for it. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have to keep going. That didn't mean that I didn't still have responsibilities and I had to handle what was brought to me. You do not have to be ready to get anything done. So step out of that thought process and go ahead and just try to do what you want to do. Start the business, call the friends, meet the guy. I don't care what it is. Take a step out in faith, because it's not about being ready. If you just want to do it, then go do it. So once you break away from these lies, once you tell yourself that you can be more and that you deserve more, now you got to build that life. Now you got to create what I want to call the rebellion toolkit. It's pretty much ways to live unstoppably. You want to arm yourself with 3 weapons. 1, the boundary bomb. It's a way to create your own voice. You say things like, I appreciate your perspective, but my decision is final. And you can say this to yourself in the mirror. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're sacred. Saying no isn't rude, it's revolutionary. We can all practice unapologetic communication because our desires matter. You are not a mean person because you said no. You are not a terrible person because you realized you couldn't handle it. You needed space. You needed sleep. You needed a moment to get it together. That does not make you less than. That simply means you know your boundaries and you're making sure people don't run over you. You deserve to not be run over. The second thing is the comparison killer, or you want to rewrite your own narrative. It's when envy strikes, their journey doesn't cancel mine. Someone else's greatness doesn't stop you from being great. You don't have to compete with them. That inner critic again whispering, who do you think you are? We're firing it. Together we'll replace comparison with confidence, and you can get rid of past pain and put in purposeful growth. It doesn't have to be that much. We don't have to fight with each other. It's something that women struggle with all the time. I'm sure guys struggle with it too, but I don't know that perspective. I just know that they tell us that there's only room for one. So now we're competing to be the one that gets it. Not true. Not true at all. There's space for all of us. And a great way of overcoming the belief that there's only room for one is letting that one get in there and then them making room for you. Just let them open the door for you. It's okay. And that whole idea that when one door closes, a window can open. Yeah, because most of the time the person that walked through the door opened the window. It's a great way of telling yourself that it's not me or them. We both can live our truth. We both can be happy. We both can thrive. And your greatness doesn't stop my greatness. I don't have to not do something because I'm not worried about how it works. I'm starting my own business. I've started this podcast. I don't get to tell myself that I can't do the podcast because somebody else has 1 million listeners and is, making millions of dollars from something that I just want to start from scratch. That's not how that works. I don't have to tell myself that, my friend got married and my friend had a kid before me, which means I can't have one. It's not true. It's not true at all. There's room for all of us to be great. And the moment you stop comparing yourself to other people, you now have the energy and the space and the free time to grow in what you want to do anyway. And the last thing that you need in your arsenal is the permission slip burner. You want to live with audacity. No more waiting for permission or the perfect moment. Ambition is not a dirty word. We'll chase goals on your terms without shrinking to fit someone else's vision for success. Think about it like this. You can exercise the idea of, I'll give myself permission to, and then light it on fire safely. Please do it safely. My husband's a firefighter. Please do it safely. You do not need permission to live your best authentic selves. We are adults. We are grown. We already had parents. We do not need adult parents in our lives. Okay? This is not a hall pass. You don't need to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. Okay? If you want to get up and start a dream, then go get up and start your dream. If you want to go make friends with somebody, get up, walk across the table and introduce yourself. You do not need other people to give you permission to live the best version of your life. You just don't. This is also what happens when we misconstrue permission with opinion. Sometimes I want to get your opinion on a situation. Sometimes I can recognize that I might be a little impulsive and I don't always think through the circumstance. And so I can go to my friends and I can say, hey, what's your opinion on this situation? They give their opinion. It's beautiful. Sometimes I listen, sometimes I don't. But I don't need their permission to make my choice. I just wanted to hear their opinion. But I don't have to take it if I don't want to. We need to stop thinking that we can't make a move until someone else says we can make a move. Life is not Simon Says. okay? Just go, just do, just be great. Like, without people being great, our whole life, our whole culture would be so simplistic. I doubt that someone that created a Fortune 500 company, Jeff Bezos, he did not get permission to start Amazon in his garage. And you know what? I thank the Lord that he didn't get permission, because I love him for it every day. You don't need permission to look at your partner and say, I think I'm ready to buy a house together. You don't need permission. You don't need to ask them, hey, can we buy a house together? No, you can just simply say, I think I'm ready to do this. I think I want to. I think this is my new vision. Would you like to join me in that vision? There's huge difference. I don't think it's healthy as adults to think that you have to ask permission for anything. You just simply need to respect other people's space, get their opinions, and then move on with the way you want to move on. It doesn't have to be that complicated. So the truth is, your mission can start now. You can do what I like to call the 48-hour challenge. In the first 24 hours, do one thing you've been waiting to do. The thing you've said, well, I'm going to wait until. Book a trip, start a project, email the mentor. I don't know, start a podcast like me. I don't care, but just do something. And then in the next 24 hours, kill one should. For an example, I should stay late at work. Or you can simply say, I'll choose to leave at 5. It's a choice. You don't have to do anything. You know, I am going to choose to take my kid outside after her nap to play. I don't have to. It's not a requirement, nor does it make me a bad parent if I don't. I simply choose to do it. And then at the end of it, I would love for you to screenshot your win or send me a message or tag me on my social media, because I want to celebrate that win with you. I can share my wins because I try to do this twice a week as well, because I constantly struggle. You guys have no idea how long it took me to want to start this or to want to start a business or do anything. We all struggle with insecurities of feeling like we have to break down our shoulds and what we're waiting to do. You can find me on social media on TikTok at lifecoach_Jasmine, or you can find me on Instagram at Breathe Easy Life Coaching. I want to hear your goals. I want to hear your successes. I want to hear everything that you can bring to the table. Remember, you don't need permission to be great. And this is your call to rise, to reclaim your power, and to step boldly into the life you were meant to live. I believe extraordinary potential lives in all of us. The dreams we've tucked away, the voice that was softened, and the fire that's been waiting to burn bright. This journey isn't about fitting into someone else's mold. It's about shattering expectations and embracing your truest, most unapologetic self. No more shrinking or waiting for permission. The world needs your brilliance, your resilience, and your unique light. It's time to stop asking, am I enough? And start declaring, I am more than enough. Your next chapter begins now. Let's write it with courage, audacity, and unshakable belief in who you are. The unstoppable person isn't born, they're awakened. And that person is you. Now go start your revolution. This world needs your unshaken light today.